Horizon, an American Saga, Chapter 1. As with any review, this may contain spoilers. The movie is bad, on the verge of being terrible if I'm being honest. I'll get to why in a minute. The film was written and directed by Kevin Costner, who also stars in the movie. The story takes place during the Civil War and follows multiple storylines across the US, with each storyline converging towards the West, but none were truly fleshed out. Yes, this is chapter 1 of 2, but even so, there's a lack of connection, and I don't mean cohesion to any one storyline. However, the cohesive element was very loose. Where the film falters the most is that it doesn't stay on one story long enough to get a sense of the characters. Often we're thrown into a scene with no context, and as the audience we have to go with it and hope we understand what is happening. It feels like a season of TV series made into a movie, except no one has seen the series besides the filmmakers. The writers have all the context and backstory of the characters, but we're missing that, so it feels incomplete. And if we're sticking to the TV series analogy, we're starting on the last few episodes of the series. The common through line in the film and the cohesive element I mentioned earlier is a town named Horizon. At this point in chapter 1, it's a mythical town out west. Another factor to why I didn't like the film, there was no sense of time. Every storyline felt like it took place within days, in particular the storyline of the Union Army. There's her mother and her teenage daughter who lost her husband and father respectively. The army takes them in and they start a new life in the camp. The mother falls for the general of that camp. Everyone is going to deal with the loss differently, but it felt like the loss of the husband took place within days, and that's one of the examples I have of how the time just didn't feel well executed. There's another instance where a group of the army is leaving camp. Two young men tell the teenage daughter they'll come back, and it's supposed to be this wholesome exchange with the young girl who's almost in tears and hugs them, but it comes off as a bit creepy. Obviously, we as the audience have to imagine that the young men and the teenager become friends, and because of the execution of the time or lack thereof, that's why it felt a little off to me. There's the saying show and tell. This means you get a better grasp of something when it's shown. The story of this movie was the other way around. This film is doing something unique in that both chapters will be released in the same calendar year. Not only that, chapter 2 will be released less than 2 months of chapter 1. This is almost unheard of. I've seen movies get released 1 year apart, but not within months. I haven't seen this in a theatrical release, but I think I've seen this on a streaming service. This can mean two things. The filmmakers and studio have confidence that chapter 1 will make a return on the investment, aka budget, or the filmmakers and the studio don't believe this will recoup the budget or make a profit in theater and want to release both films as soon as possible to make them available on VOD or license the content to a streaming service. In case you are unaware, chapter 1 was released on June 28th, 2024, and chapter 2 is set to come out on August 16th, 2024. Overall, I didn't like the movie, but that doesn't mean you would enjoy it more than I did, and it may be worth watching. If you stuck around this long, why not give the video a like? Try it out. See if it works. Subscribe and check out my other videos. Leave a comment and let me know what you think of the film. See you in the next review.